But as James said, nothing here is by accident. Everything is deliberate, and it is here for the purpose of your awakening. So when you're watching it, keep that in mind.
Bacon and eggs, 185 you have. Marita, there's the bonus. Please take a square.
The show is called Catchphrase. Catchphrase is CP. CP, C is also X. It's not directly an X, but it is in a way, because C in Greek and Hebrew is G, which is Gimel, or Camel, which is the runic X. But C in Greek is also K, which is also sometimes X. So you have an X and a P, which is the Christos, the Cairo, the head out of the box, the sword in the stone, the head in the clouds, anointed king, crowned. The meaning of catchphrase is words that will catch in the mind, things that stay with you. They're catchy, like a tune, a memory. Catch is to entrap, a fishing vessel, hidden cost. What's the catch? Some trick someone hasn't told you to lure you in, entice, trap, hunt. We are the hunted in this theme park world game walled garden. To grasp, to light, to set on fire, catch fire. Understand, catch the eye, catch attention. This show has an audience whose attention feeds the system. Phrase is two or more words expressing a single notion. Brief expression with some unity. This is the entire game. The XP, the Cairo, the CP, the catchphrase. We are here to unite the left and the right, the red and the blue, the male and the female, the black and the white. The catchphrase of singularity. This title embodies in two words, which is a catchphrase in itself, our entire reason for being in the entirety of this game here. Phrase also means diction, speech, way of speaking. The world was formed by sonoluminescence. Sound creates light. Two words, swords, the duality realm, battling it out before returning to unity consciousness. To tell, declare, point out, show. The show is literally showing us the truth. To indicate to oneself, think or muse upon. We are the ones reminding ourselves of who we really are, so we return home. A pitcher in a ball game throws to the batter, and if the batter misses, the catcher who stands behind him catches the ball so he can swing again. This is symbolic of reincarnation. Phrase comes from the root phren. Phrenology is the study of the skull. Phren means the mind, the heart. We must join heart with mind to return to unity consciousness. A phrase in music is a short and somewhat independent passage from a piece. We are phrases of the universe, the one song. The show is a catchphrase designed to catch your attention, to trap you, but also to wake up those with eyes to see. The whole game of life is designed to catch you, entrap you, lure you in with the seduction of the physical so you do not want to leave this realm. The title of the show is imposed over a circular maze-like image. This maze design is similar to the maze in Westworld. This is the mind maze of this illusory reality. It's blatantly showing you that the catchphrase is the mind maze, is representing the unity of two halves of the brain, or the unity consciousness. So catch represents one side of the brain and phrase represents the other side. Fire and ice, fire and water. The two contestants, these two are pitted against one another in competition. As James pointed out, they perfectly represent the dual nature of this world. Male, female, black, white, red, blue, right brain, left brain. Sean wears a Spider-Man tie, which I found kind of odd. Spider-Man's arm is reaching up for his neck. Spider-Man represents the web or network of the torus field. The woman wears an O necklace, which represents the whole, the black hole, source, divine feminine. Marita is her name, and as James said, that she represents the moon. Also, Mar is Ram, the head. Sean is the sun. Also, Sean, the way that it's spelled, contains the word see, S-E-A. It's also, as James pointed out, see or seen. Mar is also Mer, M-E-R, which is also the sea, and the moon represents water or emotions. The sun represents heat or fire. As I said earlier, catch is to set fire, phrase is emotions, the heart, music. James also mentioned that these contestants represent two halves of the brain battling it out. They're battling it out on television. We live in a TV show. They must be united. But whenever one of them answers a question, the quest we are on, the light underneath them bypasses the other.
Not right. Sean's back. Here's the catchphrase. £290. Please take a square. On the right.
Because they are competing with one another, not working together. Working together to get her. To get her, her is Venus, the light within. The logo's on a screen composed of 9 squares, as James said. The first square that's revealing the picture hidden underneath is the center square.
The center one. 5 seconds. Here we go. 185. I got 300 for you, Marita.
Which is representative of the core of the cube of time-space, which is where Venus is hidden, waiting to be saved, freed, rescued. She must be rescued by her knight in shining armor.
Dumb waiter.
Dumb waiter's not right.
This is why the man must win, and why it seems like Marita is just sitting there waiting like a deer in the headlights. 9 represents completion, as James said. This means that in order to complete the game, all 9 cubes must be revealed. The first image is what they assume to be a waiter. Waiter is someone who waits, especially waits tables. At the center of this universe, which is why the center was revealed first, is the table, or Mount Meru. Waiter is water with an I, or an I, E-Y-E. This world is an I being watched. We are in a TV show. Waters above, waters below. Waiter is an attendant, a watchman, the watcher. Again, being watched. Time. The timekeeper is Saturn, the cube, hence the cube of 9 squares and the TV screens. Wait is to watch, to be awake. The show is... This is so fucked up. Wait is to watch, to be awake. The show is trying to awaken the viewer. The contestants, in saying they see a waiter, are saying they are not yet awakened, because the first phrase that Marita uttered was dumb waiter, indicating that the contestants and the viewers are not yet awakened until they see the full picture, the snake charmer, which is only solved when all 9 squares are revealed, completion. Wait is also to ambush or trap. It relates back to catch. Wait is related to time. One cannot wait unless time is involved. We are all waiting here in the time cube reality. Wait is connected to weg, to be strong, lively. Awaken is to live, also connected to Wiccan, witch, vigil, Venus. Then Sean guesses tip the waiter.
5 seconds. Here we go. £290. What do you think it is?
Tip the waiter.
Which is also not a catchphrase. So it seems like these two are saying these things deliberately. This is the system speaking through them. Tip is to knock down, fall over, to reveal one's intentions. Hint, hint. Tip is the extreme end of something. So the extreme end of waiting is perhaps the end of the game. Since the answer is snake charmer, I would say that that is true, because completion or wholeness must be achieved before the game can end. This is a hint of the answer to those who can see. A tip is also to give money to, or piece of confidential information to. I'll give you a tip. It also goes to hint or insider info. Like he's telling us there's more to see here. Wait, wake up. Tip is also to strike or occur suddenly or poke. While these two continue to guess wrong, the audience laughs. It's a jab or a joke, a prodding the ribs to hint that it's supposed to be a sexual innuendo.
Bonus, Marita. Can you solve it? Here we go. 5 seconds. Here we go.
Tugging the snake, which is a sexual innuendo for snake charmer. The host is in black and gray. He's a silver-haired old man who I think represents Saturn, Father Time. He holds all the cards. He's running the show. He's the timekeeper, giving them 5 seconds to answer, and he's laughing at and mocking the game. Roy, as James said, means king. Walker means one who can walk on the surface of something. As Jesus walked on water to rise above. Roy is also royalty. King means anointed, crowned. He knows the truth. He has risen above the game, crowned, kinged, anointed. He's purple, royalty, Saturn. But also one who is whole, holy, has a halo, sun, corona, crown. The sun walked on water, Jesus. Sean is the son. He must know the truth to be like the Father. No one comes to the Father except by me. Walk comes from the root well, W-E-L, to turn, revolve. The vortex turns. Well is the vault, where your gold is stored, your AU, your authenticity. Venus is light, so Saturn has trapped Venus in his vault. Well is also vulva, helix, wheel, well, representing the Taurus and the zodiac and the vortex, which are inside the cube, spinning, revolving in counter space. Marita then guesses song and dance man.
Marita.
Song and dance man.
Song and dance man's good. It's not the one. Sean.
This is also not a catchphrase. All I could find was that it was a title of a book about a man who tells his grandchildren about his adventures on the stage, published in 1988. 88 represents the time loop, adventures on the stage, or Earth. Song and Dance Man is not the one because he is stuck in the time loop of reincarnation, never knowing the truth. He's an NPC. Song and dance means to make a big deal out of nothing. This whole performance over the snake charmer is a song and dance. The game is then interrupted by another game to guess to cut a long story short.
Sean. Sorry, Marita.
Long story.
Long story's good. It's not the one. Keep pressing. Marita.
Cut the story short.
Press again and tell me some more.
Cutting the story short.
No, keep pressing and guessing. What are we looking for? What's the expression? Sean.
To cut a long story short.
Cut a long story short. That's the one we want.
Marita takes 2 attempts to guess and gets it wrong both times. She says first, long story. Life is a long story. It's a never-ending story. Also not a catchphrase. Then she says, cut the story short. This game, too, is not by coincidence. It's telling the viewer that in order to cut the long story short, to win the game or the maze, you must charm the snake. But it's also saying, get to the point already. This game is dragging on and making a big deal out of nothing. Why can't you see it? Story is the Taurus. When Sean answers the question, the graphic ends on ST. S is the snake and T is the cross. The serpent on the cross is the caduceus. This is symbolic of raising the Christos oil. And so XP, Cairo, how to win the game and cut the long story short. And that roots back to CP, catchphrase. Marita is having trouble answering the questions, but Sean, the son, is answering just fine without her. The son is giving out the answers. It's almost like Marita is spellbound and can't think. But sometimes she gives tips that help Sean answer. Perhaps this is because the fool, who is represented by the sun in the game, must find his own way out of the game, and the divine feminine is only allowed to give hints or tips to guide him in the right direction. James pointed out the red-blue lights on the back wall. These lights are reflected in the black reflected floor, which looks like water. As above, so below. The water's below.
Well, that signal means we've run out of time.
The clock runs out. Time's up.
Take a look at the score. Marita's got £235. Sean's got £1,295. But, ladies and gentlemen, I have £260 in the bonus bank. It's got to be one. I'm going to wipe the board. The first person with the right answer wins £260. Watch your screens. Concentrate.
So after 3 squares were revealed, they paused to play another game, and Sean won an extra square. So it paused at 4 squares revealed. 4 is heart chakra, and the catchphrase from the previous game was to cut a long story short. In order to cut a long story short, if you join heart with mind, then you cut a long story short. You can bypass this process and get to the kingdom of heaven and get out of the game early. That's why they paused it in the middle, and that's why there were 4 squares revealed.
Here we go. Sean.
Snake charmer.
Sean once again answers the question, and the numbers are a lot of fives. 5 represents life, Venus. Then he says, Marita, we're going to have to lose you.
Marita, we're very, very sorry. We're going to have to lose you. You've been a lovely contestant.
Marita represents the moon, the soul trap. We lose her by going into the sun and leaving the game behind. Snake charmer, as James explained, is the kundalini rising. The system, Saturn, has turned it into a serpent phallic worship to make fun of the ignorant, all the while showing the truth in plain sight. That was my analysis of breaking this down. And it blows my mind how much is in this little short 3-minute clip.